All right, everybody, we are here, and I'm gonna see if I can add my stinking video camera here. Let's see. I'm having a bad day, and I want to tell you all about my bad day. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Hopefully, this is all working, and things are working now. So here's what happened. I got started. I need a hang on. There's got to be a thing. There's a video capture device. That's what I want. I want to create a new one of those. All right. I want that to be. Where's my there? That webcam. That one. This one here. There's me in front of a green screen that doesn't work, and I don't care that the green screen doesn't work. I can't be bothered. Here, I'm gonna move myself around like that, and that'll be fun. So anyway, let me tell you what's going on and why my world sucks. So I got this whole thing set up, and I was like, we're gonna stream. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun. And I like set up everything in XSplit, and everything looked really good. And then, for reasons I'm unclear on, I don't know why I didn't think, hey, Chris, what you probably ought to do when you set up all this other stuff is take the game and put the game in XSplit and make sure that you can actually see the game in XSplit. And for whatever reason, the new game is running in OpenGL instead of DX, or I don't know, we made it on an opposite Thursday or some shit. For whatever reason, XSplit doesn't show the game. And so I found this out about an hour and a half ago, and I was just like, all right, and I tried to find stuff, and I'm right, and so I'm literally like, I'm about to flip my fucking table. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. I'm just like, why? I'd say all this stuff. And finally, we figured out that you can run the game on OBS, but of course, I haven't used OBS in like a year, and so OBS in that last year, because it's, software and, software, it decides, hey, you know what? I'm going to update everything, cancel everything that you've ever done, remove everything. There's nothing left in OBS. I have to start from scratch. And this is literally like 10 minutes ago. And so I was like, all right, fine, I'll do it in OBS. So I apologize that the stream looks really low class. I swear to God, I had this that was so pretty. The thing I set up in XSplit is so pretty. And this is literally like what I've managed to set up in OBS in the last 10 minutes while I figured out that my game runs on OBS. So there's that. There's my rant. Hey everyone. Holy shit, there's 18 people there. Hey everybody, we're here, and now I'm gonna be in a good mood. Now it's gonna be good mood time. Good mood time now. So we have some people on Discord. I don't know why they're apparently to my left. Discord apparently is out the window to my left. I don't know why. In my mind, Alan is out there, but anyway, we have Alan, who's the technical director of BoomZap. He is in the Discord. I believe Ben is also in the Discord. I believe Monica is also in the Discord. Ben, for those of you who don't know, is one of the animators, and we call him brother number one around here. He's actually the oldest, not the oldest, but
first.
The first. He's the first person that ever worked for Alan and I. God help him. And Monica does our PR, and she's our marketing. I don't know what her title is. She's the person that does shit around here. I don't know what you call that. Actually, I read an article recently.
She's your wrangler, Chris. That's what.
But no, I read an article, and it was like, you need a producer of doing shit or some shit like that. I don't know. She's that. She's the person that makes the shit happen, right? So she's special. So we like her. Alan we don't like as much, but he actually does the work, so we tolerate him. And me, I rant a lot. Choice. So anyway, deep breath in, deep breath out. All right.
Wax on, wax off.
No, wax on, wax off. All right, so I want to tell you about the game. So for those of you who don't know what this is all about, we made a new game, and it's in early development, and I want to tell you all about this cool game that we haven't made, we are making. And I want to start off by saying, everyone be cool, right? I'm going to show you, this is a little bit like standing up in front of everyone in your underwear and being like, hey, what do you think of this? Because you're looking at a game when it's really, really early. And when it's really, really early, there's a whole 6 months of decisions that we haven't made yet, things that we're going to find out as we develop the game, things we're going to learn as we develop the game. And usually we don't show everybody the game until we feel that it's amazing and cool. And I wanted to do something different with this game because we had such a great experience with early access on Legends of Kalasia, and we had so many great responses. And I wanted to get everyone involved in this game a lot earlier. So I said, let's show them the game now. Let's show them what it looks like when it's young and ugly and new. And so be cool, right? You're going to see a game and you're going to go, hey, a lot of that looks really ugly. And I'm going to, yes, it looks ugly because that's what games look like when they're ugly and new and fresh and young. I mean, when you birth a little baby, they're all blue and covered in blood and, fetus juice. I don't know what you call all that stuff, but, we're still in the fetus juice part of the process. And so just, be cool about that before I show you stuff. So breathe in, breathe out, stop talking about fetus juice. All right, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to show you the game now. Theoretically, let's see. One of these, I think, there, that's the button. Woohoo! I found the button. Let's see. I'm going to resize some stuff so I can show them. Let's see. I want to add a thing. Add a video capture device. That's what I want. I want that one. Do I have an existing one? That's the one I want. Woo! There I am. All right, cool. Look at me learning how to use OBS all again on the fly like a real man. All right, so there's me. I'll put me over in the corner there. So, hi, everybody. This is, wait, that point, there, that, no, wait. I can't make my finger look like it's, I'm not going to do that because nothing works for me today. Anyway, this is our game. And I know it looks really simple and whatever, but there's the game. Why are we making a game? What is the point of this? So the reason we decided to make a new game is we got a lot of really great comments about Kalasia. For those of you who don't know, I think most of you who are in the stream right now know, we made a game called Legends of Kalasia. And the idea behind Legends of Kalasia was that we wanted to make a turn-based game, and we wanted to make it so that you could play it in a reasonable amount of time. It didn't take you like forever to play it. We wanted it to be multiplayer. We wanted to play it on tablets. And all of that came out great. When we built that, we got done building it and we showed it to the world and the world loved it. And they said, this is really great. I can play a turn-based game. I can play with my friends. I can play a game in an hour and a half. There was lots to love about Legends of Kalasia. And I still love Legends of Kalasia. It's still probably, honestly, out of all of the games I've made in my life, it's probably my favorite game I've ever made. So, I made a lot of games. I made like 50 games. So out of 50 games, that's the one I like the best. And the other ones were all cool and shit, but that was the one that's closest to like what I want to play, in my own taste of games and things. And so when I looked at all of the comments and the feedback and everything that we felt internally and we felt externally about Legends of Kalasia, I said, what is it that we wish we could have done? And, a lot of times when you're making a game, you get these comments that are like, you ought to have a map editor. And you're like, well, the entire game is structured in a way that a map editor it's like 15 layers of Photoshop and an Excel file and all. I can't do that. This thing that you want, I can't do. And it's really frustrating because you think, this is a cool idea. We should have a map editor. It's not like the people who are giving you the ideas are wrong. It's just, I can't do the thing that you want. And so you're like, there's someone called Natsume Ryu in my chat. I hit, hey, I don't know who that is, but it's a cool name. So I got distracted. Anyway, so I thought, what if we started over again from scratch? And we took all of the lessons that we learned from Legends of Kalasia, all the stuff that we loved, all the stuff that was really good. And then we said, let's fix all of the stuff that we didn't like as much. Let's go back and do a bunch of the notes and things that we wish we could have done in Legends of Kalasia, but doing so would have meant rebuilding the game from scratch. And I wanted to walk through a little bit what some of those things are so that you can kind of put this game into context. One of the big things that we got, and I just said it a moment ago, was people wanted a level editor. People wanted to build levels. They wanted to swap levels around and let people play the levels that they had made. And so we said from the very beginning, let's make a game that has a level editor. And let's build that into the game from the very beginning. So that's a core part of Last Regiment. Thing two, people said, we loved Legends of Kalasia, but we didn't understand it when we played it. Like there was a learning curve when you got into the game where you were trying to figure out how do these armies work, how does the combat system work, and in truth, the combat system was a little bit kind of hard to get your head around. And in fact, here let's go look for a moment. Here's for those of you who've never seen Legends of Kalasia. Here's Legends of Kalasia, and it's a great game. So like, let's do a quick skirmish match, and I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about here. Let's just play. We'll do a quick play so we get right into it. And by the way, I love this game. Anyone who wants to play Legends of Kalasia, I love to play Legends of Kalasia. I'm happy to play Legends of Kalasia with you. This is still a wonderful game. We're still supporting Legends of Kalasia. We got new maps coming out for Legends of Kalasia. So this is still a thing. This game here that I'm showing you is still a thing. But what people got confused about was things like, hey, I've got this army with Robert. And well, what is this army? And you click on the army and you're like, well, okay, Robert's got these skills. And then inside of the army, there's these units, and these units have these skills. And people were a little confused about what does, when I have a ballista that does 4220, what does 4220 mean? Well, this 42 is the maximum damage that it could do, so it's actually going to do between 1 and 42 points on a bell curve, and 20 is the number of points of damage that it can take. But there was the question of, well, all right, when I attack this army, I know that he's got 10 of these men-at-arms, but he's also got 2 of these ballista. Which one takes damage first? And blah, 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 blah. And we had a whole system for that. And figuring out that system was kind of fun and cool, but it was also something that people got, to be blunt, it's something that people got kind of confused about. And it was a barrier when they started the game that they were like, all right, I don't really know how all this works. And we had a lot of wonderful people in the community that would be like, oh, let me teach you how to play. Let me show you how this is all played. And I thought, wouldn't it be better if we didn't have to do that? Wouldn't it be better if people would just get in the game and they would look at the units and they would just inherently know this is how they work. And to have more of the game be on the main screen. So if I go back to Legends of Kalasia, I've got this sort of main map, and all right, I want to move this guy here and have him go do stuff. And then when he goes and attacks, there's like a separate battle screen. So let's play a battle real quick. So I'm going to go fight these guys over in this village. And when he goes and fights these guys over in this village, we get this moment where we say, oh, okay, here, now my ballista fires, and now, okay, and that does this damage. And there's this whole sort of game inside of a game. And it's fun. I like it. It's cool. But it's also something that you have to learn. And it's got kind of a steep learning curve for. And so I said, from the very beginning of Last Regiment, how can we make that learning curve easier? How can we get people so they just hop in and they just know how battle works and they know how things happen? Do I not have sound?
You can hear me.
All right. Somebody in chat said, okay, so some people have sound, some people don't. So I'm gonna pretend we have sound and move on. So that was thing 2, was how do we make the combat system so that people inherently get the combat system? The third thing, and this was really funny for me, when we originally made Legends of Kalasia, I'll be brutally honest, I didn't think real hard about the story. That's just a fact. I thought, come on, this is like an advanced version of Risk. People want to move their little armies around. They want to fight. They don't deeply care about the story. So we didn't spend a huge amount of time thinking about some really involved plot or deep characters or anything like that, because I genuinely, and it's not that I don't care. I love that kind of stuff. I used to be a dungeon master. I love making games and coming up with all that stuff. I just thought nobody would care. So I thought, I'm not going to bother with that. And so we didn't. And so we went with a really classic look. We went with really classic characters, and people are like, well, what is that guy? I'm like, he's a dwarf. Dwarves. They speak with Scottish accents. They smoke pipes. You know what a dwarf is. We could play the game, dude. And I just assumed that was the way things worked, right? But when we actually launched the game, we had all these people who were like, tell me about your lore. Where can I find out more about these places and these? And I was kind of shocked a little bit and was like, wow, you guys want that. I would love to make this for you, but we didn't. And now and we tried. As we went along with Kalasia, and we continue to try to sort of add story and add stuff to the game, but it was never really a focus of the game. I thought on the next game, why don't we do that? Why don't we have characters that you care about? Why don't we have an interesting story? Why don't we go a little bit away from the sort of obvious fantasy tropes? Let's do some stuff that's a little bit more original. Let's create a real world. Let's do that thing. And so sort of the third big change with Last Regiment is let's actually have a meaningful story and characters that go through this story and do that thing. So that was sort of thing 3 that we wanted to change and we wanted to do in this game. Thing 4, we actually, one of the problems with Legends of Kalasia, and I'll go back to Legends of Kalasia for a minute. And again, I'm not ripping on Legends of Kalasia. I love this game. It's a wonderful game. But one of the sort of weaknesses we found out as we continued making the game was the way that we had structured the factions. And the way that we structured the factions in Legends of Kalasia is there were like, you know, the humans, and then there were the Feyborn, and there were the Revenant. And if you played the humans, for instance, and you said, well, what units can I use as a somewhere in here is these are wait, I want that button. So when you played as the humans, you had like these are the 6 units you can use as a human. And if you played as a Revenant, it was like these are the 6 units you can use as a Revenant. And it was a little bit limiting in the sense that, you know, I may really like the abilities that this Dark Knight has, but I can never use these Dark Knight abilities with, for instance, the Man-at-Arms, because the Man-at-Arms was a human unit, and the you get where I'm going, right? And I thought, you know, it's really kind of sad because there's probably a lot of interesting synchronicities that people could have found with these, not synchronicities. There's a word that people use in Hearthstone when one card works well with another card. It's not synchronicity. What is that? There's a word. You guys know the word. You know what I want to say. And so,
Synergy.
What? Synergy. That's the word I want. Synergy, which is also a really, really great band. It's not really a band. It's a guy named Larry Fast who made this really incredible music. I diverge. So anyway, let's go back to my, you can see me again. Synergy. Yes, that's the word I want. So I felt like because we limited the player down to, you're going to play this faction, or this faction, you could only ever really find synergies between those 6 units. And since most armies had 4 stacks anyway, it was really, the question wasn't which units are you going to take, it was which 2 units are you not going to take, right? And that became a thing that got, I guess, solved is the best word. And I think, you know, some of the people who are in the stream, like Merlin, I think one of the things that made the game have a shorter lifespan than it needed to have was that some people got in and they felt, you know, hey, I've solved this. I figured out that the best way to play the humans is to have this unit, and this is how you play it. And once you know, and the problem with a game like this, a strategy game, is if you feel you've solved a strategy game, then it's over for you. And you're like, okay, I've had a great time. It's a wonderful game, but I'm done now. And I wanted to make a game where we could consistently be putting in updates, and those updates would allow you to constantly find new synergies. I'm going to use that word a lot now because I've remembered it. I can constantly find these new synergies between different kinds of units. And if you look at games that do really, really well, Hearthstone is one of the ones that comes to mind, where you guys in chat, everyone's talking about trading card games. This is the magic of trading card games, is being the guy that finds those cool new synergies. And when a new thing comes out, saying, oh, there's this new card or this new thing, I want to get this card, and I want to use this card because now I can use this card with this other card that I used to have, and nobody else figured that out, and I'm smarter than them and I won, and that's why I'm a badass. That's one of the sort of fun things about trading card games. So we wanted to change the game so it did something like that. So let's talk about Last Regiment, and let's talk about how we did all of that stuff. So here, this is it. This is the big unveiling. Here is the game, right? As you've seen. I have so many windows on my screen. Let me go find it. There it is. So thing number 1, we'll have a campaign mode. We will have a skirmish mode. We will have a multiplayer mode. All of this will be pretty much like you saw in Legends of Kalasia, because that worked out pretty well. If you want to go play through the campaign, you'll play through the campaign. That'll have all the story and all that other good stuff in it. If you want to play through the skirmish mode, this will be basically multiplayer maps that you can set up on your own, and we'll do it the same as Galatia, where you can mix in AI and humans and however you want to do it with multiplayer as well. Down here at the bottom, you can see my sexy face. What this is down here is sort of an area for us to show you things that are happening in the game. So, for instance, and this is something that we want to tie in with streamers and stuff like that. So, for instance, if Tower Channel wants to do a live stream of the game, we can actually right here on the main screen say, hey, Tower's been streaming our game, and you can click right here and go directly to his screen and go play his game. If you want to come watch the dev talk about the game, when I do a dev live stream, that'll be here. So we can actually advertise people who are supporting our games here. We can also down here put, for instance, we have a new DLC coming out. Do you want to, you want to come get this new DLC? Or, hey, we added some new maps to the game. Do you want to, if we have some news for the player. So this is kind of our place to put stuff, and it replaces. In Galatia, we used to just have that sort of pop-up. So if you look, I think there's one in Galatia right now. So if you look in the Legends of Galatia screen right now, you see up in the upper left-hand corner, we had this pop-up. This annoyed a lot of people, and we wanted to replace that with something. So this is the main screen of the game, and you can kind of see, here's how we're going to communicate things to the player. So let's open up a level. And by the way, for those of you who noticed it, yep, there's the editor button. And the editor is going to be available to everybody who gets the game on PC. We're now discussing, I think, the plan right now. And keep in mind, we're still in development. So a lot of the shit that I say here is what we intend on doing. And as we build the game, that may or may not change as we learn things. But the current plan, as I understand it, is that if you get the PC version of the game or the Mac version of the game, then that editor button will be there, and you can play with the editor, and you can make levels, you can save those levels, you can show those levels to your friends. We're gonna try to put together, we're still working on how it all works, but a place where you can go in and look through all the levels that people have uploaded and vote on levels and say, this is a really fun level, go play this level, that sort of thing. So yeah. Question, is that running at 130 frames a second? Yes it is. It probably could run a lot faster, but it's capped because anything over 120 is not really worth much. So yeah. Wait, other questions. Someone else had a question. I'm trying to make sure I'm getting to some of these questions. Monica, by the way, since you're there, if anyone asks a question in chat, let me know if it's something I need to answer, because I'm talking a lot and I'm not being able to pay attention to chat. So I give that to you, Monica. You can tell me when I need to answer something. So anyway, I know you guys want to see a game. Let's play a game. And keep in mind the level I'm about to show you. This is a test level. This is not. There's a lot in here that's placeholder, so don't freak out, right? But you can get a basic idea of the game. So notice the hexes. The reason that we went to a hex-based game and a hex-based dynamic is because it allows for really nice, easy editing. And I'll show you the editor here in a little bit and how the editor works. You'll be amazed how quickly you can build stuff in our simple little hex-based editor. A lot of this art, by the way, is placeholder art, so don't get too excited. But some of it actually kind of looks like what we want it to look like. So here's the basic bits of the game. You've got this map. You got a little fog of war. I don't know what's going on. Here's my character. And please excuse this sort of garbage down in the left-hand side of the screen. Let me a sec. I'm gonna make my thing here bigger. And I'm gonna put this on top. There we go. So now you can see a little bit bigger. And here, let me make myself a little smaller. You guys don't care that much about me. I know I'm not that pretty, so I'll make myself right there. So anyway, yeah. The hexes are stretched a little bit right to left. We do that because as you see more of the map, it gives you a kind of a sense of a fake perspective. That's the word I want. A fake sense of perspective. So that's why it looks like that, if you were curious. But anyway.
It is a real hex space in that you have six directions of movement as opposed to
that's correct. But the hexes themselves are stretched a little bit right to left to give you a false sense of perspective. So anyway, must calm down. point by point. All right, so the game, kind of like Kalasia, I'm going to take over stuff. One of the big changes is you'll notice there are no country lines. There's no like this is this country, this is that country. You don't take over countries in the way that you did in Kalasia. And that was because when we played Kalasia, we found that there was this sort of beginning part of the game where it was like, okay, time for me to take over my lands, and you kind of took over your lands, and Zubat took over her lands, and Alera took over her lands, and okay, for the first 10 rounds, that's what we do. Okay, now it's time to start fighting. And we thought, what if we kind of just got right into the fighting? So you can still take over stuff, but what you actually take over is important points in the map. So, for instance, this important point right north of me is this little city, right? And so I've got these guys. These are my cuirassers. I don't know how to pronounce that word. I think it's cuirassers. I don't know, but I've seen it in 1,000 books. It means guys who wear breastplates. And so the cuirassers, they can move up there and take over that city, but you can't like take over this forest. That forest that he's sitting in is just a forest. You can't own a forest. A forest doesn't do you anything. It's just land that you move through. So movement is much like Kalasia in the sense that everybody will plan a turn and then you will resolve a turn. This was one of my sort of favorite parts of Kalasia, was not having to wait for everyone to take their turn, right? And so it's the same thing. So when you want to move somebody, I can drag them around, right? By the way, the little 2.0s and 1.0s, they won't be in the real game. That's for our testing purposes. But as you can see, this kind of gives me an idea of where can I move this guy. And you'll notice if I try to move him in the forest, he can't go that far because those 2.0s are telling me, yeah, that forest is a little harder to move through. You're going to move through that forest slower, right? But if I wanted to move out here onto the plains, I could move a lot faster. So now the one of the big effects of terrain in the game is it slows down your movement. There's other effects that we'll talk about later, but the big one is that it slows down your movement. So let's say I wanted to take over this city. He's going to go there, and boom, let's end my turn. Woo, yay. That little pumping thing at the bottom, that's a bend thing, and I don't like it. We're going to get rid of it. So you'll notice I actually can see some more stuff now because the Fog of War actually allows me to see further. Different characters have different sight ranges. That's one of the things that the different characters have. So right now, I've automatically taken over that property. That's actually going to change. That's one of the things in the notes of things that as we've been playtesting, we've decided that we actually want to have a thing where you actually have to stick around for a turn and take it over so that it's a little more strategic to do. We haven't done that yet. So for the moment, let's take over this whole city. And you'll notice this city is composed of 3 city blocks. So in Kalasia, there was this kind of concept of like, how many hit points did a city have? We don't have that in this game because that was one of the things that confused people. They would get in and they'd be like, I took over the city. Why is it not done yet? And you'd have to be like, no. See the flag? You got to go like 3 more turns. So if we want a 3-turn city, it's got 3 hexes and it's right there in your face. Well, you haven't taken over all the hexes yet. So if you want to bring in 3 dudes and put a dude on each one of the hexes and take over each one at the same time, you could take it over in 1 turn, but otherwise you're going to take a couple turns to do it, right? So let's continue our little conquest of this town real quick. Yay, we've taken over the city. Now, you'll see up in the upper right-hand corner, right? I must get my finger in the right... Other people are better at this. I know what I can do. I can put my finger here, and I can move this. All right, so as you can see right here, there's mana, and as you can see right here, there's gold, right? Mana, gold. And the mana and gold are what we use to buy things in the game. And the way that you get mana and gold are to take over things. So for instance, this city provides a certain amount of mana and gold. This little farm over here provides a certain amount of mana and gold. You can see, by the way, this little indicator on the left-hand side, we just redid the UI. It's all broken and farked up, but it'll be pretty someday, trust me. But you can see this farm gives me no gold and 1 mana, which is not right. It's all these numbers are all bullshit right now. We're still playing around with everything and just getting it all to work. But for instance, this windmill would give you a different amount of mana and gold. And then there's also spells and things that we'll get to that. But anyway, mana and gold are how you buy things. So right now I got 6 gold and 0 mana. Now you'll notice over in the bottom right-hand corner, here is my regiment. And the regiment is composed of all of the dudes and chicks, I should say. Dudes and dudettes. What is the non-sexist version of dude? Can I just use dude? Can we just use dude as sort of a non-gender quantifying dude? Because I do that. I call like a bunch of chicks dudes, but then I just said chicks, which makes me I'm a sexist. Say it, dwarf. Just say it. I'm a sexist and a racist. Dudettes is dudettes. I don't know. Anyway, we have men and women in our game. So anyway, this regiment, you'll notice there's what 12 things down there, and these 12 things are what you choose at the beginning of the game. And what we've done is we've separated these regiments into factions. And there are many factions in the game. Right now, planned, I think we have 12 factions planned. We're starting with 6 for testing. And each faction has a number of units that are available to it. So, for instance, one of the factions is Ivoria. And Ivoria is... And the factions are kind of based around our lore, and they're based around this world that I'll talk about later. But the Ivoria faction, for instance, is a bunch of monkeys and monkey-related things, and wizards and monkey wizards that all live in a jungle. And so you get things like this. This one is the monkeys riding monkeys unit, and this is the tusked apes unit. This is the Saurian champion, and so Ivoria has a bunch of these sort of cool monkey wizard things, right? And if you want and so when you build your own regiment, you can choose 3 factions, and you are allowed to use units from those 3 factions. And the lore, and we'll get more into the lore in a minute, the lore is about you building this mercenary band, and this mercenary band is recruiting people from these 3 different factions. And so you may decide, I want to bring the guys from Ivoria and the guys from Red Keep and the guys from Poliva, and each one of those sort of has its own different flavor. And then from those 3 factions, you can choose any 12 units. So maybe you decide you want to bring 6 guys from Ivoria and 3 guys from Red Keep and 3 guys from Poliva, or maybe you want to bring 4 from each, however you want to do it. But the idea is you're kind of building a deck, right? And that deck would include these different units, right? And what you can do now that you have these units is you can summon these units in any city that you fully own. So now I own this city. I have to find some units that I can actually afford. Right now I can't afford any of these units because the numbers are all wonky. But give me a minute. When I have some mana, I'll be able to afford a unit. Let's go take this farm. That'll get me some more mana while I wait to get some more mana. And keep in mind, all these numbers are total BS right now. So don't like be like, well, that guy seems too expensive. They're literally garbage right now. That's what we'll be doing over the yes daily life. That dally life. That is in fact a lemur. These are an enormous herd of vampiric lemurs, which also come from Ivoria. So yeah, you can have lemurs in the game. We'll get back to that later. So all right. Now I've taken over this farm. Now you'll notice, by the way, this unit has a couple things. This unit, by the way, our cuirassers, he's a elf that rides a great big elk because, elves on elks. You gotta dig that, right? You'll notice he's got 3 meaningful stats. On the left is his attack. On the right is his hit points. In the middle, that's his move, right? And so in move, basically, he's got 2 movement points. And he can spend them however he wants. If he goes along the road, he can go pretty quick and pretty fast. So he can go all the way over there if he runs along the road, right? But if he wants to jump into this forest, he can't go very far because the forest eats all his movement points, right? So one of the big parts of and another thing, by the way, is he's not like an army. There's not like a thing inside of him. There's not like I click on him and I know how many units he has. No, he's a unit. That's it. There's no battle screen. There's no going to a separate screen. Combat happens right here on this screen. Everything you need to know is right there. Now, seeing that guy, you know everything you need to know about him. Now, if you would like to know some more about him later when we get the UI working and all that, you'll be able to click here and there'll be a big pop-up in the center of the screen. And the pop-up will tell you what kind of special abilities he has and blah-de-blah-de-blah and all kinds of stuff like that. But for the moment, let's have him run over here and take over this windmill. So anyway, there's that. So now I went over, I took over the windmill. And you'll notice now that I've got some mana, a bunch of these things have lit up down here on my regiment. So these are now things that I can summon. If I wanted to like make something, I can make something now. So let's say I want to, what do I want? Oh, these monkeys riding monkeys are pretty cool. I'm going to go with the monkeys riding monkeys. So I put it there. Again, there'll be better effects and art for all this later. But now that means I'm going to summon that guy on my next turn. Actually, you know what? Not the monkeys riding monkeys. Screw that. I want a wizard. Can I get a wizard? Oh no, I don't have a mana for the wizard yet. Ah, here. I'll get a sharpshooter. They're cool. Because I want to show you how that works. All right. So let's see. I'm going to go take over that mine while we're waiting. And then he's going to get summoned. Let's end our turn. Bam! Yay, sharpshooter. Again, I know the effects suck, and I know that the art looks kind of crappy. We're getting there. Now, oh my god! He ran into someone and killed somebody, I think. I'm not sure what happened there. Alright, so you, don't go there. Go here and there. No, go here and there. Ah, it won't let me go there because it's a forest. I can't go that far. It's too far for me. I'm out in the woods. I'll get it in the next turn. All right, so this sharpshooter, let's drag him down the road and get him coming. Now, you'll notice when I click on the sharpshooter, by the way, there's some new stuff. Look down here in the bottom left. So some of the units, now this guy, these cuirassiers, they don't have anything really special going on. They can take over some stuff. They can, but they don't have any real cool special abilities. But these sharpshooters, they've got this cool special ability that they can shoot stuff. Now, right now, there ain't nothing for him to shoot. So let's get him up to where he can get somewhere and shoot some stuff. But this this idea of you have some cool special ability and you can use it, this is kind of a little bit like Kalasia. It's that part of it I really liked was the idea that on any turn you kind of get your choice. Am I going to move or am I going to do my special thing? Right? Maybe I move this turn. Maybe I take over something this turn. Maybe I shoot my arrows this turn. My wizard has special spells and maybe he heals somebody or maybe he turns somebody into a lemur or blah, blah, blah. There's all kinds of, and this will be a huge part of the game, is these special abilities that each one of these units will have. Thank you. I also love my vampire lemurs. All right. So here, get your elk into the mine, dude. Get in there. By the way, there will be bugs. This is very, very early on in the game development process. So be clear, there will be bugs. Get used to the idea of bugs. But now we're getting kind of a bigger idea of the world as it's laid out. And of course, we'll have different units that are scouting units, units that can fly, units that go in the water, units that do all this other stuff, blah, 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 blah. So as we develop out, your ability to explore these landscapes will become quite interesting. You'll notice, by the way, over here, the land is colored a little darker. And so we actually have two levels of fog of war. One is our fog of war of like, you ain't never been there before and you don't know what's there. And then the other level of fog of war is, yeah, you've been there. You know there's a forest there, but you don't know who's there right now. And so as we get into bigger, more complicated games where people have lots of units, if you don't have someone over there kind of watching, you won't actually know that those units are coming and attacking you and that sort of thing. Other units also will have special stealth abilities that allow them to move without being seen unless they're right next to somebody, and they can sneak up on you and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, there's all that. No, there will not be a bug race. There will be, well, not that I'm aware of. There might be. I have neither confirmed nor denied a bug race, but there will be glitches in the code. That I can absolutely promise you. For the foreseeable future, this game will be deeply broken. But that's the thing, and that's the trade-off. People are like, I want to see this game. I want to get involved early. Great. This is what games look like when they're early. They look broken as shit. So hang in there. There will be a bug. I like that quote. There will be a bug race. Insectoids. And they're against the monkey people because the monkey people eat them. I like that. That's kind of cool. So anyway, back to the game. So now you see, I got some lemurs. I got to do something about these lemurs. Fucking lemurs. And so you'll notice that the lemurs have an attack of 5 and they have hit points of 5. Right? And again, don't pay any attention to those numbers. That's all bullshit. But for the moment, that's what we've got. So that's what we'll talk through. So I've got here these cuirassiers who have a bigger attack and bigger health. And this, I mean, to be blunt, works pretty much just like Hearthstone. You're going to do that many points of damage. It's not like Kalasia. It's not like you're going to do up to 8 points of damage or up to 5 points of damage. If it says 5 on your attack, you do 5 points of damage. So there's no question. There's no anything. Just, all right, go. That's what you have. The hit points, same thing. There's no like, this is my stack or I attack this one first or any of that confusion. If that lemur says 5/5, that means when he attacks, he does 5 points of damage. And it means when anyone attacks him, he dies when 5 points of damage have been done to him. So let's attack and see what happens. Go get him. All right, he moved. That's what happened. Now, you'll notice the movement on this. I moved, so this guy here, this cuirassier, he moves 2, right? And the lemurs move 1. The way movement works is very straightforward. If you have a movement of 2, everybody who's got a movement of 2 takes their first hex. Then if you've got a movement of 1, everyone who's got a movement of 1 takes their hex, right? So if you've got a movement of 2 and this guy's got a movement of 1, right? Stage 1, movement of 2 moves. Stage 2, both of them move, right? So the faster characters actually get to run away from other characters and that sort of thing. And let's say there's 2 1/1 characters and this guy wants to move here and this guy wants to move here. It happens simultaneous and they go like that. Now, so the next question is, what about if like 2 guys try to move to the same place? Well, if there's 1 guy here and 2 guys try to move into him, they're both going to move. This guy's going to get attacked by both. If this guy did 5 points of damage and this guy did 5 points of damage, bam, this guy's going to get 10 points of damage done to him. So that's kind of the way they work. I feel like Chris is about to lose the game to the AI. That is a very big monkeys riding monkeys right there and is going to totally tear me up. And I should probably, you know what? I'm going to get some of these elves with chainsaws. I think, yeah, that's right. I fucking said elves with chainsaws. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to summon some elves with chainsaws. I'm going to summon this pyromancer. I'm going to get some of these big tusked apes. I'm not letting this AI beat my ass. I'm taking him down. All right, you go kill him. All right, your archery doesn't reach. So you see when I clicked on the archery, he's got a range of 1 with that archery, and it shows me that range. It kind of shows me where shit can go, right? So yeah, that's right. Elves for you, Colgan. I made elves for you. If you don't buy this game, I hate you. I made elves just for you. You were like, elves, 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 all through Collation. Oh, we need elves. We need elves. Fine. You want elves? I gave you elves. Not only did I give you elves, I gave you techno elves. They're like cool, awesome elves that like understand how technology works and that you're going to like them. They're cool. I'll get back to the story. But yeah, we got elves. So yeah, elves. Also lemurs. All right. So this guy's going to go attack that dude. This guy, I'm going to move him up 1 more. But see, if I move him there, those lemurs may actually go and attack him. And the sharpshooters, they're not really great at attacking. They're better at shooting stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop him off the road here because I bet those lemurs are going there. No, you know what? I'm going to put him in the woods so he's even harder to get. That'll be even cooler. All right. What are you going to do, lemurs? You're going to die. That's what you're going to do, lemurs. All right. So now, look, I got these monkeys riding monkeys surrounded. So that's cool. So my sharpshooters, I'm going to have them shoot those monkeys. That's cool. These guys, you're going to go up and attack those monkeys. It's a bad day for you, monkeys. Let's get these elves with chainsaws up here. That's right. Elves with chainsaws. Let's get this wizard up here. Come on, monkey. All right. That's all right. There'll be more lemurs. All right. That monkey riding monkeys took it in the face. All right. You're going to go down here. Let's see. Now you're on the road, so you're going to go faster. Now you're on the road, so you're going to go faster. And you, why don't you go take that windmill? That's where you're going to go. All right. Off you go. Can we have wizards riding monkeys? Yes.
Shamans, surely.
Yes, we can. I'm going to make that happen because that's a good idea. It's on the list. Wizards riding monkeys. All right. So he's got some more monkeys coming up. He's also got this Ivorian witch lord that he summoned there. That's bad news. We don't like the smell of that very much. You're gonna go up in the woods right here and start shooting into that castle. You're gonna keep coming down the road. Monkey, I told you to go down there, monkey. All right, let's see what happens. I'd just like to point out, by the way, and I was in a bad mood earlier, but I'm in a really good mood now, and I'll tell you why. We have 31 people watching this stream right now, which is more people than we've ever had watching this stream unless I stayed up for 48 hours. So all of you people who came and showed up for our big launch of the game and stuff, dude, thanks. You guys are awesome and cool, and I love all of you. One of the things I loved the most about Kalasia was we built this really amazing community. And one of my hopes going into Last Regiment is that this awesome community that we built, they're gonna come over and we're building it for you guys. I mean, so much of this game is built around, we built this amazing game called Kalasia, and everybody loved it, and everyone had these wonderful ideas, and I wanted to build the next game for you guys. I wanted to build that, so I'm really excited that the core Kalasia audience is here and that you're supporting what we're doing. So huge shout out to all of you. You are the awesomes. You're why I do this, and that's just a fact. So back to the game. So anyway, I could go on with this and show you more of this, but I want to keep these live streams relatively short. I want to talk a little bit about what we're doing with the live streams. Basically, once a week, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to tell you what we did this week. I'm going to show you what we did this week, talk about what we're going to do next week, and use this as sort of a dev blog. So this is our sort of first episode in the great big dev blog of Last Regiment. And I was going somewhere with this. I swear, there was like a thing I was talking about, and it's just boing, right out of my head. Oh yeah, so I'm going to keep these relatively short because they're all going to be put on YouTube. And so if you miss the live stream, and please come to live streams because I'll be able to answer questions live and all that other good stuff. But if you can't make it to the live streams, all of this is going to be on YouTube. And so if you just kind of want to watch how the game gets built on YouTube, you can do that too. You can share the YouTubes with your friends. If somebody gets involved later and you're like, hey, you should really check out this game. And if you want to see, Chris rage about why his XSplit doesn't work, then you can go back and watch all the way from the first episode. So you can do all that kind of stuff. And as Monica says, you can go to Discord and join, and we'll have all the information there, and we'll post things and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I want to show you something else because I'm really proud of this. And this is something that we're going to be working on in the near future. Let me real quick. Oh my God, I crashed the game. That doesn't happen very much. I'll deal with that later. That was a hard crash on shutting it down. For those of you who are working on the game that might be interested, that's what just happened. For those of you who are technically inclined in this stream, I had a hard crash on shutting it down. So I want to show you guys the editor because the editor is friggin' cool, right? So here, this is the map we were just looking at, which it's titled Boston because I built this map right before we went to PAX East, and I've just kind of kept the name, right? So you can see this is what you were looking at before. And so the question is, how quickly could I make a map like that? Well, let me show you. Let's say, for instance, I decided I wanted a big desert instead of this lake. Okay, done. You now have a desert instead of the lake. All right, but these cities and the roads, that has to be hard to put down. Absolutely not. Let's say I want to build a brand new city and I want to put it right here at the edge of the desert. Boom, done. Apparently I made a little highborn city there. Hey, but the roads, those have got to be hard to do, right? No, not at all. Doom. By the way, for those of you who don't notice, look, it even puts a little gate right there in the town when I put the road next to it, which I think that's just, it's overkill. I can't believe we did that feature, but that's there, right? Okay, I wanna put some units down. I wanna have some, neutral units when I start. All right, there's one. There's another one. Here it's the Desert of Wizards. All the friggin' wizards you want, right? Let's say I want to put let's put some cannons in the town. All right, there you go, done. Right? This is so easy, right? I built this map in about 15 minutes. And most of that was me just kind of staring at it being like, I don't know what I want to make, right? So here, let's make this all a nice big forest. Screw your city. Screw all that. Get rid of all those units. I don't want any of that crap. Let's put a big, huge forest right here in the center. Do 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 do. Yay, big, huge forest. A farm is in the forest. Oh, and I want to put some barriers. I want to put some blockers in where you can't go there. All right, well, I got some of those. Here, let's put a volcano right in the middle of this. Boom, there's a volcano. Let's put another volcano. Oh, wait, damn it. There's a volcano, and there's a volcano, and what else can I put in here? I want one of these little, there, one of those, and here, let's put some, oh, I don't know. Let's put some snow right there, because, you know, it's a snowy place. So you get the idea. This is, so if you're wondering why you wanted to, look how easy it is to channel your inner Bob Ross. That's absolutely true. You can Bob Ross the shit out of this map. Look, let's put some happy little trees right here. Look, some happy little trees. Oh, you can make all the happy little trees you want. Let's see. Happy trees. All right. And that's it. That's literally all there is to making maps. And what we will be doing when we are... Penis maps are coming. Here, wait. No, I'm not going to do it. There's the... I'm...
Restrain yourself, Chris.
Okay, I'm not. I could make a penis map in like 2 seconds if I wanted to. I could do it right here, right now, but I'm not gonna because we're putting this on YouTube. But yes, you can be sure that there will be, and let's talk about the penises for a minute. Let's talk about the penis. We built an editor for a game we made like 10 years ago called Magic Lanterns. And we went all through this time and pain to make the editor and blah, blah, blah. The only thing anyone ever made were penises. Every morning you would wake up, you would go and you would look at the Magic Lanterns, what got built in levels last night and uploaded, and it was like another 20 penises, and you were just like, really, this is sad. And that was my job for like 2 months until we shut the editor down. My job was like wake up in the morning and delete all the penises that people made, and that was it. And so we have to actually deal with this issue, right? This is the thing, because if we're going to make maps and allow people to trade maps, then we have to have a system for that. So on the great big task list of shit to do, now that we have an editor and the editor works, is to say, all right, now that I've made a level and I upload a level, how can people vote for this level? How can people say, this is a good level? And how can we at BoomZap maybe tag a few of these levels and say, these are levels that BoomZap's looked at and we think these are just incredible levels and we want to feature these. And those would, of course, be the levels that people have voted for, and they get lots of good votes and they play really well and that sort of thing. I know those towers do. Actually, I don't think the towers look like penises. Those towers look a little bit like dildos to me. And we're actually making them again because I looked at them and I'm like, that tower is ribbed for her comfort, and that's not cool. So anyway, there's that. Yeah, so that's the editor. And let me walk you through what development looks like from here on out. If you look at these editor menus, right, you can clearly see here's all the different terrains that we have. And we're, making the terrains look a little better. I'm actually reasonably happy with how the maps look, though. I think they remind me of the Kalasia maps, which I wanted them to, because people loved the Kalasia maps. It's still got that, hey, look, this is a fantasy game map feel. I think it looks pretty good. But we're also putting in, all kinds of different features. So this menu of, hey, look, you can put a volcano down. That menu is going to get literally hundreds of items of, here's another volcano. Here's another, all kinds of things. That's a little weird. It's not working right. Don't do that. Here, put that. So yeah, here, there's that. And something about that land that doesn't want to take the land doesn't want the volcano. But anyway, we'll put in lots and lots more of these kind of features and stuff like that. Will Last Regiment have exploding birds, clouds, and dragons? Oh yeah, it will. Oh yeah. There's a whole bunch of stuff like that we need to put in. One of the other things that I want to look at is as we build more buildings, and this gets into, and the next thing we're going to talk about is story. This gets in a little bit to the story. We're going to have all kinds of buildings based on the different races and based on the lore of the game. So when you go into the area that's got orcs, it's got orc stuff. When you go into the area that's got the humans, it's got human stuff and that sort of thing. And these buildings, not only will you be able to just, plop down a few. Yep, that's right. I call this land Dildodia. But anyway, not only will you be able to plop down a whole bunch of towers like that, but different buildings will have different special effects too. So maybe this building, when you stand on this building, you'll get the special power of being able to heal people, or the special power of being able to shoot cannons, or blah blah blah. So there'll be special things you can do in special buildings. And what we're also going to do, and Ben doesn't know this, but I'm going to say it now, and then Ben has to do it, is I'm going to figure out some way that some of these buildings do cute shit when you click them. Like, you know, we had the people loved clicking on the birds and letting the birds blow up. I would love to have, like, if you click on the windmill does some stuff, like it spins faster or some shit like that. So I'm hoping that we can do some cute stuff like that. Ben is still trying to get his neutered Cthulhu on a leash. I don't know what goes on in Ben's head. I don't know.
That's me, not Ben.
Alan still wants his neutered Cthulhu on. I know what goes on in your head. I read books that you suggest to me, and they're creepy, dude. You've got some. Alan's got issues. I'm just putting that out there. Alan's got some issues. So that's that. So next thing, tell me about the story, Chris. I'm going to do a lot more about the story in the future, but I will give you the very, very basic synopsis. And I want to let's see if I can add an image real quick. Image. Create new image. Browse. Let's see. Do I have? Where is she? I want to show you our lead character because she's so cool. Actually, here I know I'll get to go to base camp. So hang on a minute. I'll show you some art, and you'll like it. Let's see. This is Last Regiment base camp. Where's Olivia?
No, Renegade Page is not the hero of the campaign.
Page is not the hero of our campaign. That is not going to happen. Hang on a minute. Somewhere in here I have art. I should have prepared this better. Now I feel a little. I feel I should have done you better here. All right. Can I just drag that to OBS? Is that a thing I can do? No. Wait, can I do hang on, is this a thing I can do? Can I do a show display capture? Okay. And I can do no, that doesn't work. Get rid of that. No. Yes. All right, that didn't do what I wanted it to do. I want a window capture. See, I haven't used OBS in so long. Window capture. That's what I want. I want the window capture thing. Can I tell it what to do here? No. All right. Goddamn thing. Stop. All right. There we go. So, theoretically, there we go. There's some art. I don't think I'm showing anything too creepy there, right? This is what happens. Oh, wait. If I move that, does it break things? No. All right, cool. So, here. This is a character. That's our elf with a chainsaw. And this, I think he's a really good sort of example of what this world is, right? And the story of the world is that there's an old world and there's a new world. And the old world is sort of a European style. It's where the humans are, and there's various peoples there. And long ago, these peoples went and colonized a brand new continent. And when they went and colonized that continent, there were huge colonial wars that happened when they colonized that continent. And those colonial wars encouraged the people of that continent to fight back, sort of the native peoples of that. And one of the native peoples of that continent were the Highborn. And you can see here, here's one of the Highborn in his more modern state. And this is hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So hundreds and hundreds of years ago, there were these huge, incredible wars. And during these huge, incredible wars, the Highborn said, we need some powerful magic. And because the humans had brought with them these things called constructs. And the constructs are sort of mech kind of things. I don't have any great art for the constructs to show yet. We're still working on that. But they had built these sort of crosses between magic and machinery, sort of magic machinery that, you know, like catapults that could walk and things like that. And the Highborn said, we need some magic to fight this with. And so they summoned what at the moment we're calling them the wood spawn. I don't like wood spawn. I'm going to come up with a better name for them. But the idea being spirits of the forest, creatures and spirits of the forest. And so let's see, Silverwood, I believe, has some of the spirits of the forest. And so here you can see sort of the idea of the forest spirits and things that they summoned and brought to this world, right? And so suddenly the war becomes very unbalanced because these forest spirits become extremely powerful. And at the time, the orcs, who were one of the other native, you know, groups of the new continent, they said, this sucks. We need somebody to go fight these guys for us, right? And so they did their own sort of summoning, and their summoning produced which what we're calling right now the infected. And we'll come up with a better name of that. Yes, orcs are conformed. Orcs are a big part of this game. And so the orcs summoned basically spirits of death. And the spirits of death they're not normal undead. It's not like a mystical undead skeletons and stuff like that. What it was it was actually sort of these weird fungal growths that covered people and infected them and rotted out their brains and filled them with sort of death spirit fungal growth stuff, right? I don't think I have any good death spirit fungal growth stuff to show you yet, but I'll show you that later. That's coming in future episodes. So anyway, what ends up happening is the world just gets destroyed. The new world falls into this sort of death spiral of all of these things that got summoned taking over the world, and everybody else is like, hey, screw this, and they back up and they sort of hide in caves and stuff, and the world just becomes sort of a desolate wasteland where these wild forest spirits and these magical mechanical creations and these fungus growth infected undead things constantly fight. And everybody else kind of hides in the woods or hides in the caves and kind of hopes it all gets better. And the humans go back to their old continent because they're like, yo, screw this. This place is crazy. This is cray-cray. I'm not into this, right? And hundreds of years pass. And after those hundreds of years pass, the people of the old world develop better tools, better technology, and they become sort of, I guess the best way to think of it is where's what I'm looking for? Yeah, here's a good example. So this guy, they become modern, like 1700s level technology modern. They have cannons, they have frigates, they have galleons. So the world becomes sort of based around the technology and the themes of the like 1750s in our world. And so they load up on all their galleons, they load up on all their ships, and they go back to the new world to colonize the new world. But when they get to the new world, they find out, well, you know, some stuff's gone down since we were here last time. And some of the stuff that's gone down is these people who retreated into the woods or into the caves or into these places. They created strong magical powers and factions and groups and little armies to fight all of this stuff that's going on in their world. So for instance, this is one of those factions. This is Ivoria, and here you can see they've got, you know, these intelligent monkeys that go fight these weird forest spirits, and of course our vampiric lemurs that have been, you know, summoned and whatnot. So we have so what ends up happening is you've got this world that's entirely controlled by little tiny mercenary armies and little mercenary kings, and they're fighting with each other. And you bring yourself into this world to go through a story. And I'm not going to tell you exactly what the story is yet, because I want to save some stuff for some later broadcasts. So we'll talk more about who you are and what your story is, but that's the world. And so as we fight through these worlds, we'll be having units that are based on different factions, based on different races, based on different technologies. Some will have magic, some will have chainsaws. So it's a very sort of broad world with lots of things to go see and do. And the spirit of the game is you're constantly putting together new mercenary armies based on these warring factions that exist in this new world. And the new world is called Kothia. It was suggested at one point that this would be Legends of Kothia, but that was roundly put down. Nobody wants to have another game named after things that people can't pronounce. We found that was a bad idea with Kalasia. So that's the world. That's kind of the way things are. Here's, for instance, one of the monkey warriors. This is I think we call him a tusked ape. So yeah, this kind of gives you an idea. Let me show you a little bit more of what the world looks like. I think we've got some great units over in Saltia Ruma. So for instance, you've got, here's one of our galleons. You can see the sort of level of technology. It's not a fantasy game in the sense of, it's all medieval. It's much more modern. And here she is. I knew I could find her if I kept looking for her. Here's the lead character of our game. And those of you who played Kalasia may recognize this young lady. You say, well, yeah, she's Olivia from Legends of Kalasia. Yeah, hell she is. Basically, I loved this character from Legends of Kalasia so much, but she got put into that game sort of late, and I feel like she just really didn't really get her time. And I thought she was just way too interesting a character to not have in the game. So when we decided to put together the new game, and we needed a lead character, I just thought this is the one. She wants to ask you a couple questions. All right, points for Alara. Well done. Yeah, Olivia's here and she wants to ask you a couple questions. And her backstory, I'll give you a little bit of backstory. She went in one of the early colonial armies when the Reconquest, as it's called. The Reconquest is when the old world goes back to the new world and tries to take it over again. And she was in one of the Reconquest armies, and some shit went down. I'm not going to tell you what shit yet, but some shit went down, some bad shit, and she ends up not being there anymore, and ends up being a pirate from the seaport of Saltia Ruma, which is where the game actually starts, in Saltia Ruma, which is an island off the coast of Kothia. And she has to, for reasons we'll talk about later, she has to go into Kothia and form a mercenary army and go do some stuff. And we'll talk about what stuff later. But the story begins with Olivia, who is now a pirate working out of the mercenary port of Saltia Ruma, finding out that she's got to go back to Kothia. That's where the story starts. So, for those of you who wanted pirates, your main character in the game is a one-armed pirate. So you got that going for you. And I love her. She's cool. We did not call the city Salty Aroma. Although that's pretty cool. Salty Aroma. I hadn't really thought that. Anyway, it's Saltia Ruma. Saltia Ruma. 2 words. You're never going to get a fantasy name that people don't find. You can't win with, and that's Alan. That's my business partner calling it Salty Aroma. You just can't win. But anyway, that's the lead character of the game. That's the face of Last Regiment. I'm really proud of her. I think she's some wonderful art. By the way, for those of you who can't see, up in the upper right-hand corner, you can see the face of the artist who does that. We'll be talking more from Edwin later. Edwin is one of the artists on this project. He was one of the core team of this game. It's the core team from Legends of Kalasia. The programmer, Adrian, same programmer from Legends of Kalasia. Creative director, me, same dude. Marketing, Monica, same person. Edwin was on Legends of Kalasia. Erwin, who's doing a bunch of art for us, was on Legends of Kalasia. Uncle June, who was doing a bunch of art for us, was on Legends of Kalasia. So you're seeing is Edwin going to be a pro at this game too? Hopefully. When it's actually playable, we will get him in and we will do stuff. So there. That's all I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to leave her up on screen because she's beautiful. And I'm going to answer any questions. I'm going to like take a deep breath. I'm going to drink some of this green tea that's right here. Does anyone have any questions that they want? Now, I'll answer 3 questions. And you can people from Boom Zap can ask questions too. But I'll answer 3 questions. And then we're going to call it a day for this particular live stream. And why do I hate you so much? Because you're a troll, Dwarfurious. You're an absolute troll, but you're our troll, and so it's a love-hate thing. You know, as I tell people, if nobody trolls you, that's terrible. You have to be at least popular enough to have one troll. So there. That's why we hate you, because you're a stinking troll. All right. Merlin asks, Chris, you talked a bunch about the units, but will there be non-unit stuff from each faction you can take? That's a great question. And this is actually a change that we made in the game recently. When we originally designed this, the idea was that you would have different powers and different units that you could take as part of your regiment. So you could have like a heal spell or a fireball spell. But as we started some of the early playtesting, 2 things came up. One was the question of, who am I? Who am I in the game? Who am I playing? And am I a god character that looks down on the world? That's not how the game plays. The game I'm actually Olivia. Wait, let's see if I can do this again. I'm her. Wait. Damn, I have to wait. I have to put this I have to put the video capture device on the top. Wait. Do it. Right there. All right, wait. There we go. Her. I'm her, right? No, there. I'm really bad at this. Wait, I'm better up. I'm her, right? And so we wanted to be, we wanted to make sure that there was a her on the board that was doing things. What I think really sets us apart from, say, a trading card game is that we have a map and that we have a space and that you have to think spatially. And so when we started looking at these powers like heal or, give a buff to one of my units or something like that, instead of putting it over in the regiment bar and saying that's a power that you can use anywhere on the map, we said, what if we gave those powers to the units and made the unit get in a position where they could use that thing? And now it creates a much more sort of tactical situation where I'm not just saying I want to heal that guy. It's I need to get the wizard who's got the ability to heal over near enough to that guy that he can be healing that guy. And all of these different powers now have ranges. So for instance, you may have a heal with a range of 4. And so I can actually have her like hidden in the forest back behind the lines, and she's healing people or buffing people or doing cool stuff with her cool abilities. And the person who's playing me has to think, I keep fighting all these monkeys, and these monkeys are really strong. Who's making these monkeys so strong? And now I got to go back in the woods and find this person who's powering up all the monkeys. So yeah, that's changed a little bit since you saw this at PAX East. Because of that, we felt that was more interesting and more tactical. So other question, there was another question. Tower, will the story be on a level that I can stream during my story playthrough stream times and enthrall my audience? Absolutely. So we're still aiming for a game where one sort of mission, one level takes between 30 minutes to 2 hours, kind of like Kalasia did. And if I get in a big, huge, if I make a big map and a big complicated mission, maybe it's a big hour and a half, 2 hour long thing. For some of the smaller ones, maybe half an hour. So that's the dream. So they should play in sort of a time period a little bit like Kalasia, and obviously the story will be made up of a number of maps that go through the story, and this is why you're going here, and this is why you're doing stuff. One of the things that's a little different and interesting in this, though, and let me for a moment... let me turn that off for a second so I can get back to the map and show you. So one of the things that's a little different about this game from Legends of Kalasia is we can actually do a lot more with the map in this because the map is bigger, and it's not just about territories. It's actually about moving through different hexes. So we're actually going to be telling some of these stories through the places and the characters in the map. So this cuirassor that I'm kind of poking with a dildo here, maybe he's part of the story and he's got things to say. So we would actually see like little pop-up text over here where he's like, screw you, come take my city, or you're a chicken, or some shit like that, So we've actually got the story being played out in the map, as opposed to the story always just being some characters that sort of pop up and lay over the map and be like, you need to take over this country. We can actually have the story being told actually deep in the map. So that's one of the changes that we wanted to make the story more interesting and more part of what's going on. So we'll be seeing more of that. That's quite far down the road for us. There's a lot of steps we have to get through before we can get there. But tune in every week and you can see it as it goes. Let's see, were there other questions? Dwarfarius asked, you mentioned different buildings with different abilities, like a cannon tower. Can any creature activate the cannon tower, even wild animals? Does it require humanoid intelligence? This is one of the places where I think it's going to be kind of fun. One of the things I kind of like about Hearthstone is sometimes it's a little silly. Sometimes you're like, I gave, this ridiculous ability to this ridiculous character, and it's kind of funny. We kind of want some of that to our game. I think that level of humor is a little bit fun. And so, for instance, let's say this tower has the artillery tower, and going into this artillery tower would give you the special ability of, using the artillery that's in the tower as one of your possible special abilities. Yeah, if your lemurs went into that tower, those are some artillery shooting lemurs. Go! So yeah, that's kind of the way I want it to play, because I think it's kind of fun. And also, I don't want to give too many like really specialized like this. It's not an RPG. I don't want there to be like, these lemurs have an intelligence of 6 and you need an intelligence of 8 to use the artillery tower like that. This is kind of one of the things that we learned about Kalasia was every time you add a rule, you damn well better have it explained in the game really, really well. And you better not try to explain, like I should just know the rules. I shouldn't have to have them explained to me. That was one of the sort of things we learned from Kalasia. All right, so were there any other questions? I'm scrolling through. Can I fire lemurs? Can lemurs use cannons? Yes, lemurs can use cannons. I give it an hour after we get our hands on it before we break it. I'm highly sure that you guys are going to break this very quickly. So, I'm looking forward into the future. Here's what's going to happen. Every Thursday, I'm going to be here doing something like this. This was our let's all get to know the game thing. I'll be doing something like this with let's get to know a feature, or let's look at some new art, or let's look on some stuff like that every week. If you guys want to come and check it out, please tell your friends, tell everyone. Everybody always says they want to be involved in the development and they want to have a voice in the game. We're letting you guys in on this really super early, and I did it partially because I know a lot of you guys, right? I know the core audience that's watching this right now, and they were people that were with us in Kalasia that had really great ideas and really great suggestions, and they were a really positive force in the development of that game. And I wanted to let you guys in earlier. Let's be honest, I'm not going to have 5,000 viewers in this live stream. It's just not going to happen anytime soon. I mean, it'd be cool if we did, but it's not, right? What's probably going to happen is it's going to be this crowd and maybe a couple other people, maybe a couple less people once a week. But what I know about you guys is you are guys who really care about what we're doing. You care about the games that we're making. And I want to give you this this chance to get involved early enough in the game that you can make, big suggestions, and I can either tell you to go stuff it, or I can, try it out in the game, and we can really work with our audience in building something. That's the dream of the dev blog. It's not just some sort of marketing scheme to get you guys involved in the game. It is a marketing scheme to get you involved in the game, but it's also a chance to allow you to actually be involved in it, in the sense of we can make the game that you want to play. So that's the Gene. That's what we've got. I would love to hear feedback. If you haven't joined the Discord is the place when I'm not here talking. If you have ideas and thoughts, go join the Discord. Get your friends to join the Discord. That's where we talk. Monica, you can post a link to the Discord for those who want to be there. That's the stream for the day. And if I were using XSplit, I had like a whole thing that I could show you now, and like a exit screen and all of that. But I don't have any of that because. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with this, and I'm going to turn off the image I'm going to turn off the video capture so I'm not there. That's the schedule. Those are the links. Thank you very much, everybody. And that's it. I feel like I should have a thing here, but I don't have a thing here. But that's what I got. All right, I'm gonna turn the microphone off now.